What if I told you that somewhere in the Washington wilderness lies a hole so deep that no one has ever found its bottom, and the government desperately wants to keep it secret? In 1997, a simple phone call to a late-night radio show would launch one of America's most enduring unexplained mysteries, spawning decades of speculation, government conspiracy theories, and enough bizarre tales to make even seasoned paranormal investigators question reality itself. No hole in the ground should be able to swallow 80,000 pounds of trash without filling up. Yet Mel Waters claimed his did exactly that. It began on February 21, 1997, when a caller identifying himself as Mel Waters phoned into Coast to Coast AM, the legendary late-night radio show hosted by Art Bell. Waters spoke in calm, measured tones about a remarkable discovery on his property near Ellensburg, Washington, a hole in the earth that appeared to have no bottom. According to Waters, this wasn't just any ordinary hole. He described a perfectly circular opening, approximately 9 feet in diameter, lined with what appeared to be hand-stacked stones. The mystery deepened when Waters revealed his attempts to measure its depth. Using fishing line and a weight, he had fed out over 15 miles of line without ever hitting bottom. Even more bewildering, when he dropped objects into the void, he never heard them land. Waters claimed that for decades, locals had used the hole as an unofficial dump. Refrigerators, old cars, construction debris, everything disappeared into the darkness without a trace. He estimated that over 80,000 pounds of garbage had been consumed by this earthen abyss. Yet the hole never filled up. It was as if the very laws of physics bent around this mysterious chasm. But the tale took an even more extraordinary turn when Waters described the hole's alleged supernatural properties. He spoke of a neighbor's dog that had fallen in, only to be found alive days later in a nearby forest, but somehow fundamentally changed, as if it had experienced something beyond normal reality. Radio equipment behaved strangely near the hole, he claimed, and local wildlife seemed to avoid the area entirely. Then came the government intervention that transformed a curious story into a full-blown conspiracy theory. According to Waters, federal agents suddenly appeared on his property, claiming eminent domain and forcing him to sell his land. The official reason given was environmental concerns, but Waters suspected something far more sinister. He alleged that the government had discovered the hole's existence and wanted to control access to what might be a geological anomaly of unprecedented significance. The story captivated Coast to Coast AM's massive audience, spawning countless investigations, documentaries, and online discussions. Amateur researchers scoured satellite images of Washington state, searching for the elusive hole. Government databases were scrutinized for any mention of unusual geological surveys in the Ellensburg area. Yet, despite decades of searching, no one has ever definitively located Mel's hole. Skeptics point out numerous red flags in Waters' account. No property records exist for anyone named Mel Waters in the Ellensburg area. The geological composition of the region makes a naturally occurring hole of such depth virtually impossible. Most damning, Waters never provided specific coordinates or invited anyone to visit the site before his alleged forced eviction. But believers argue that the very absence of evidence proves the conspiracy's effectiveness. They suggest that a discovery of this magnitude would naturally trigger a massive government cover-up, complete with falsified records and suppressed testimony. The truth behind Mel's hole remains as elusive as the hole itself. Was Mel Waters a masterful storyteller who crafted one of radio's most enduring mysteries? Or did he genuinely stumble upon something so extraordinary that powerful forces moved to silence him? The complete absence of physical evidence could suggest either an elaborate hoax or an incredibly effective cover-up. Perhaps the real mystery isn't whether the hole exists, but why this story continues to captivate us decades later. In an age of satellite imagery and digital connectivity, the idea that genuine mysteries might still hide in remote corners of our world speaks to something deep in the human psyche. Our desire to believe that wonder still exists just beyond the reach of science and reason. The moral of Mel's Hole isn't about truth or fiction. It's about the power of mystery itself to ignite our imagination and remind us that not everything in our world has been catalogued, explained, or controlled. Whether real or imagined, Mel's Hole has become a cultural phenomenon that reflects our complex relationship with the unknown. It represents our simultaneous skepticism and hope, our distrust of authority, and our hunger for magic in an increasingly mundane world. The mystery endures because sometimes the question is more powerful than any answer could ever be. And in the shadows of the Washington wilderness, perhaps that's exactly how it should remain. Want to explore more unsolved mysteries that challenge everything we think we know about our world? Subscribe now and join us as we dig deeper into the stories that blur the line between fact and fiction, between the possible and the impossible.